Hello, guys. Welcome back to The Life You Deserve. This is my channel. Um, just wanted to give you a little update. So, essentially, started the health journey, right? Started it. Maybe I look better already, but I've started my new diet. I feel great on it. I've already lost a kg. I feel fucking brilliant on it. So, my diet consists of sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, frozen veg, a lot of tinned fish, sardines, mackerel, eggs, milk, nuts, mixed nuts, um, and then a bit of fat, like whether that's olive oil or lard or real butter, just real fat. And essentially, I feel really good on it. Obviously, it's a high energy diet, and I'm satiated throughout the day. I feel great. Um, Also, another thing, I have been reducing the smoking, and the way that I've been doing that currently is nicotine patches. So I've got a nicotine patch here. Obviously, my breathing's a lot better. I've had the odd cigarette. I won't lie, I'm not going to lie. I've had the odd cigarette. Um, but obviously, having one cigarette every other day is better than having 16 a day, or 20 a day, 5 a day, 10 a day, whatever. So there's an improvement. Also, I'm just going to wipe that off my whiteboard. That's one of my to-do listy things. So I've done my dishes at 6 in the morning because I've got to rush home to sort some family things out, personal things. Um, so that is the aspect. So the quitting smoking, obviously the drinking, I'm reducing that because that's just so shit. I actually like non-alcoholic beers, alcohol-free beers. They're very good. So as you can imagine, I feel very good overall. I also brought 70 quid's worth of supplements and cosmetics. I made sure to do my research. I made sure that the supplements I was buying were bioavailable and actually useful. And then I've brought some little cosmetic-y things just to, make myself look nice, take care of my appearance. I think I look good for it. I'm happy for it. It's just, yeah, it's been a good few days. What else? Let me think. What else was I going to talk about? I don't know. I guess that's just part of a journey. Obviously, trying to be patient, trying to not wish my life away. Just taking it day by day. I know that everything's going to work out in the end. Also, right, my dream for years has been to be off grid or like live in a tent, live like a nomad, and just travel about, live, on my backpack, all of that stuff. That has been a dream for years. Um, Now, I want to try this real world thing out first, just so I can get to experience certain things. So I want to try that out, but I think inevitably, I think the tent life might be the life in the future. I mean, I know the things that are hard, they say loneliness and obviously getting a woman to live in a tent with you is like, obviously it's going to be difficult. You can't blame them. But the thing is, like, I'm at a position now, like a lot of young people are, where dating is so shit anyway. For the foreseeable future, I can't see myself in a relationship necessarily. Um, it's not something that's really feels like it's on the table because I guess it's harder and it's harder to find nice people. So I think that could be the lifestyle. Live with a dog. The reason I say that is because I've been watching a YouTube channel called Nomad Sam. I've been watching these kind of YouTube channels for years anyway. Anything to do with eco housing, off grid living, building tiny homes, earth ships, things like that. So that kind of lifestyle in general just interests me. The reason I like the tent life is because it's more primitive, it's more survivalistic, it's nomadic, and also cheap as well. Cheap is obviously the main thing. It's that just a beautiful low impact lifestyle, and I think I'm going to have a little philosophical discussion about this on my channel later. I just think as a human race it's hard because we're in a situation now where globalization is breaking down and nations hate each other, people hate each other. So it would be hard to say degrow your society when you have China, Russia, now America, with Donald Trump, uh, and just people that just would love to see your nation eradicated. However, my dream sort of political thing would be for people to start living more low impact, eco friendly lifestyles. I think our governance model should be based on improving the life satisfaction and well being of the human race through community, through naturalistic primitive lifestyles, incentivizing that more, because obviously when you're in the UK, living off grid is almost impossible unless you want to do the tent thing, which again is hard because all the land is owned by aristocratic families, the church, the queen, private landowners, etc., etc. But I do think that we should balance degrowth with obviously protecting national interests, because that's something you have to do no matter what. I don't know if a night watchman state would be the best way to go. It's really hard. I feel like eventually there has to be some kind of Rojava style system, but unfortunately, what we're seeing with Rojava now is heartbreaking. Um, with the new Syrian government, which is essentially ISIS, rebranded, funded by the Turkish. Um, Obviously, they've basically taken all of Kurdish territory, the AAVE, and I can't remember what the other one's called. But yeah, it's extremely sad. The only sort of anarchistic region we have now is the Zapatistas. Again, they had to further decentralize because they were being attacked by the cartel, and they're still being attacked by the Mexican government covertly, probably through paramilitaries. We've had Venezuela, what happened, but then, Venezuela's not democratic, confederalist, or libertarian socialist by any means, because it's a horrible dictatorship. I still think what America did to Venezuela was uncalled for. But no, I just hope with AI and things like that, we could go one of two ways. It could be a techno-feudalistic sort of society, or it could be a low-impact sort of solar punk, eco, off-griddy, a direct democracy type future, which would be a blessing. Also, there's downsides to that, because maybe that would be a system. Well, number one, weakness. Number two, maybe that would be a system where people were more over socialized than they already are. If you read Ted Kaczynski, you know what I mean when I talk about that. But we just need a society that balanced normal national interests like economics and the military and keeping a society, but we need to balance that with increasing community, ecology, life satisfaction, leisure. They're gonna maybe they implement universal basic income within our lifetime. That could be a bad thing, that could be a good thing, but I know for a fact if they do, I will take that money and I will travel the fucking world and do whatever I want to do, hobbies wise. I've got a lot of hobbies that I want to do. But yeah, it's my little short take on it. I just know that things are going to work out for me in the end, and my life is going to be good because I'm going to make sure I'm fighting for the right to have a satisfactory life, no matter what the fucking government want to do. If they try and conscript me, sorry, mate. I don't agree with so much stuff that the government do. Yeah, I've studied politics and economics and history, which I've sold out now and decided to do digital marketing, which will probably get taken by AI anyway. But I've studied these things and it's a personal interest of mine, so I know extensively about these things. And I don't agree with most of the things that our government does, or the way that they approach it. So obviously, if they ever try to conscript me, I would be the first person to go to the woods, so-called go to the woods, because modern society is way too complex. It's unnecessarily complex. Why are we paying this extortionate amount of rent when actually we could build our own cob houses and have a more low impact lifestyle? And these new build houses that are being built now, number one, they look shit, they have no character, and aesthetics and ritual is so important within a society. Culture, aesthetics, ritual, they look horrible and they're shit quality. And these cob houses, they're lasting thousands of years. It's insane. And they don't cost anything to repair because it's just plaster and mud, hay, water, dung, whatever it is, whatever, because obviously it varies around the world. But yeah, so that's one example. Anyway, transport, cars. I'd love to have a car. A car is one of my goals. A car is one of my necessary goals. So I think we should. I don't think we should abolish cars by any means, but cars are unnecessary. My great granddad was probably more satisfied than me within life. He worked hard. He had a family. He did work hard. He worked. I could not do that now. If I grew up in his society, I'd be conditioned to, but I could not do that now. But he never travelled. He never had a car. He had a very simple life, very simple pleasures, and guess what? He still enjoyed. I think there's been a disconnect because there's certain things that maybe my dad's generation or my granddad's generation didn't teach. As we got more socialized and more advanced, there's things that are a lost art that haven't been taught to the younger generation. And these are things that I want to relearn. Hence the hunting, the fishing, the having an allotment, growing my own food, survivalistic skills, masculine skills, even like repairs, DIY, things like that. That's another thing we should do more. Focus on repairing things instead of needless consumerism. Things that were built 100 years ago still last now. Things that are built now do not last because they are designed to broken. Designed to break. I'm losing track. I'm going on a tangent again, but I'm sort of choking on a sardine bone. I guess the whole point is to I want to live a life as good as possible, simple pleasures. I want to relearn the lost arts. I want aesthetics are so important, ritual so important, resilience, skills, mental well-being, community, friendships, relationships. It's all so important, and these things are declining in our society. There are positives. People that are all doom and gloom about the modern world are ignorant as well, because everything is balance. Wu wei, yin yang. That's just the way it is. That's why Western societies function better than other societies, because they emphasize tolerance and pragmatism and democracy, giving people a say. That's why they're more sustainable than totalitarian societies. People see the modern world, and they think we should revert to authoritarian communism or fascism, especially fascism nowadays. And even if your ideology did work, it's such an unsustainable system. The Germans relied on conquest and MIFO bills, black budgets, to fund their 5 years of fame. ISIS is an example of an Islamic fascist movement. They relied on conquest and oil and things like that, but it was so unsustainable, they burnt out as well. It's the same thing with Spain, it's the same thing with Italy, it's the same thing with Japan. When you rely on imperialism, that's really it's almost like an indicator of state collapse. We've got to be careful, because that's where the US is currently, or has been for a while now. We're not in a unipolar world anymore. Now we are competing, and we really got to be careful. But sorry, I guess I don't really have much more to say. maybe I could do, you know, when I was younger, I was into spirituality. Now well, then for a while, I was interested in philosophy. I'm less interested in both of those things now because I feel like they're rabbit holes and I found my answers and I've learned about all the concepts. Um, Now I'm just interested in having a good time while I'm here, um, having a good life quality. Yeah, that's genuinely all I'm interested in, and that's the only reason why anyone would study philosophy or spirituality in the first place, because it is that sort of hedonic treadmill, hedonism thing. Even if you dress it up in religion or intellectual concepts or discipline, we all do things for our own self pleasure, for dopamine, even if it is delayed gratification. We all do things for self pleasure. It's all biochemical. I don't think there's anything much else to it. Um, I think all you can do in this situation is live as good as a life as you possibly can, and that's all I'm interested in. And I'm going to be patient, but I will achieve the goals that I want to achieve one day. And one day I'm going to be old, and I'm going to look back on my life, and I'm going to go, "Well done, well done. You had a fucking good life." And I hope the rest of you have a good life as well, because you all fucking deserve it. Most of you deserve it. Some of you don't. Probably some of you don't. But even those that don't, if they had a good life, they'd probably be less reckless and destructive and hateful. Because these ideologies like fascism, totalitarianism, they all function on hate, and hate is unsustainable. So, peace and love. Take care.